So Paulie gets slapped in the back of his head by a TikToker with some baby powder. I have mixed feelings about this, but let's talk about it.
Push the weight in no flex, flex. The livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga, boof. I'm a 88 pack nigga, boof. I mean, day walking, drink blood, trains out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Well, wow. So I'm minding my business, and my text start blowing up. And the first thing that I read was Paulie Malignaggi got some hands put on him. So I text back the person that texted me. I said, just a question mark, like what? And then my LDBC brothers start hitting me up like, yo, did Paulie get jumped or something? It went from he got beat up to jump to, you know how news travels. And upon further investigation, he's commentating at the Lamar Odom Backstreet Boy dude fight, whatever that was. I mean, man has a mighty have fallen. How you go from Showtime being a color analyst? You're well decorated. For the most part, the mechanics in the ring, no one could really outdo you on that. You spoke with such conviction, but Paulie, you just couldn't help yourself. You talked yourself out of a really decent gig, and you stood on your square. So kudos to you, but we didn't forget that. So it's like F you forever now. Then you went on this racist tirade. You ran over to the Europeans, and you let everyone know how you felt as far as racial tensions were concerned. And basically, there's no racial, what he said, there's no systematic racism. I mean, you really stood on it, Paulie. Remember the conversation you and I had, Paulie, on Instagram? Yeah, never forget it. Yeah, man. Then they fired you. You don't care. And now you're doing some commentary on some celebrity death match. So, you remember celebrity death match in the 90s? Claymation joint? Funny. But that's what Paulie's doing nowadays. And he didn't get punched. This guy, I think he's a TikToker. He filmed this. This is how crazy this has gotten. He filmed it. He puts the powder in his hand. The camera cuts on. All you see is a hand go up behind him and slap him in the back of the head. Paulie jumps up and goes at him. Dude's saying something to him. All right, look. Here's why I'm mixed with this. Let me take this off. This is hilarious, by the way. Paulie's baby powder. Look. Here's why I'm mixed with this. All right, first of all, I laughed because it was funny. It couldn't have happened to a better guy. I did. I laughed. It was funny. It was. But then when I thought about it, I said, I don't know anything about these TikTok dudes and a lot of these YouTube guys. I don't know about that. They trying to get bread on fighting each other. I'm understanding. That's fine. If that's how you want to get it. They keep thinking this boxing thing is a game until somebody get killed in there. Like it or not, Paulie's a real fighter. Like it or not. And I'm going to assume that when he got his hands on that kid, realized who he was, I don't know if people separated them, but I think they may have been a moment where Paulie thought, if I punch this kid, it's going to be something else, because we make fun of Paulie. He can't crack an egg and he has no power, but he's a professional athlete. His hands are registered. And if he hit that kid, it'd have been like hitting him with a weapon. Now, here's why I say I'm mixed with feelings with this. Of course, I don't like Paulie. Paulie don't like us. When I say us, I'm talking about black people. He don't like us. All right. What I will say, though, is that this social media thing has gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand. I don't know how that kid even got close to Paulie like that. Maybe that was just such a low-key event, because I didn't even pay attention to it. They didn't have real security there to keep people away from the commentators like him and the other people, because I don't know. What if that was somebody's ex-wife and ran up on one of the guys commentating with a knife and started stabbing him? You need security in those situations. Now, again, am I advocating for Paulie? No. It could have. Look, we're laughing at the situation. We're laughing at the situation, but I want y'all to think about it. There's a lot of people out here. They're in love with themselves. This Tic Toc and this Instagram, and everybody think they're either eyewitness news or they want to be first with catching the story. When they see a crime, they rather video it before they dial 911. This kid, whoever did it, I don't even know if he's a fighter or trained in the fight. But I'm saying, some of you kids play too much. There was just a situation a few months ago that white kid that went into the hood and he goofed around with some brother and he got shot and killed by a brother that had a legal carry. And based off the prank, the dude thought his life was in danger and it was a justifiable shooting. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. But I heard he was a popular YouTuber. Never heard of him. But we live in an era where fame is instantaneous based off the amount of dumb stuff you do. We live in an era where you actually you award stupidity. I never thought it would get any worse than, not worse, but you get what I'm saying. Jackass, remember that in the 90s, in the early 2000s on MTV, Jackass? There was something before that called the Dudsons. Those guys, I think they were from Australia. Then there was Jackass, and these guys are doing all kinds of stunts with poo and you know, then they eventually had a show. It was cute to watch a little bit. Then they had 2 movies, kind of funny. I couldn't sit through a lot of it because it's like, all right, how much stupid shit can you do before you kill yourself? Then that kid Bam Margera, he had a spin-off show. And those things have a good 2-3 year run, and then it dies off. One of the guys had he had a couple of good movie deals or whatever. Did a movie with The Rock. I forget his name. But these guys, we live in. I didn't think it would get any. I didn't think it would go as far as that. But then when social media, with your phone, you can click live on your Facebook and on your Instagram. You can actually go live from other platforms, and you can click a live button and it can go live on all of your platforms at the same time. And everyone around the world can see what you're doing in real time. Hey, look, man, I'm on the toilet taking a dump. But if people like you, you'll have 1,001 people watching you take a dump. This is the era we're living in, man. Think about what I just said, though. That kid walked into the hood and got shot and killed because he was YouTube famous, and I guess he was making some money off of it. I saw these other 2 white boys running up in various hoods. One video, they were snatching phones out people's hands. Yo, let me see that. Bro, stop playing, man. Then they will run up, the people running around with their pants sagging. They run up behind people. Yo, pull your pants up. One dude, they pulled his pants up. A gun fell out on the floor. It's all fun and games until it's not funny anymore. I said that to say this. What if Paulie beat that kid's ass? The story we would have gotten was Paulie beat up some kid's ass. He beat his ass. We'd have been like, yo, why Paulie beating on some civilian? Because he can't fight nobody real. But then we would hear the story. Oh, yeah, this was some sort of TikToker and he hit him first. I don't know. Maybe the security, maybe the people got in between them. Or maybe Paulie just stopped and said, yo, you know what? I know what happens if I hit this kid. Now, I don't mess with Paulie at all. And Paulie don't mess with us. Now, we could clown this. It was funny when I first saw the video. I said, oh, man, that's funny. But now I thought about it. I said, it's funny, but that could have went left. What if Paulie had a friend there with a gun? What if Paulie had his own security? And they jumped on the kid and started whooping his ass. Think about it, man. These kids with these cameras, they turn into stuntmen. They do, man. They think this is funny. It's not funny. So we could laugh that it happened to Paulie. You know, I made a little joke about it, you know. Ha ha ha. It's funny. It's real funny. You think anybody's gonna run up on Mike Tyson like that? You think anybody's gonna walk up on Roy Jones and do that? Antonio Tarver and do that? Any other boxer and do that? Try doing that to Lennox Lewis when he has his back turned. He's trying to talk about a fight. I dare you. Not everybody has the same level of restraint, man. This kid did it because he thought it was funny. And he said, hey, man, the worst thing, you know, this is not the hardest punching boxer in the world, but if he do hit me, I could sue him. Probably get some money. What's a few missing teeth? So in closing, it's funny. We could laugh about it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not funny. You see what's happening in the NBA? These fans are getting closer and closer and closer to these athletes. You need stiffer penalties, stiffer punishment. Paulie was hired to do a job. Not to get smacked in the back of the head by that's assault, man. Look, man, all right, I ain't even going to get into what the rules are in Jersey. Maybe he has to press charges. And you know, he's not gonna, because he's going to do some sort of fight. I don't know. But I stopped and I thought about it. I said, you know, NBA, you know, they throwing stuff at the athletes. And now you get, you know, these Tic Tocers and YouTubers. They're thinking it's funny running up and doing things like that to professional athletes, to people. And okay, it happened to Paulie. We laughed about it, but what are we really laughing at? Really think about it. So, you know, that's just my take on it. That's my take on it. It was funny, but not funny. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? And y'all know I don't mess with Paulie at all. But just think about what I'm saying, man. Just something to think about. Bronx on deck. Move!